I'm Duke Morton, and this is Gwen Sarandrea. Next to
Hi.
me, we are discussing her wonderful book, The Healing House, The Gift of Dad's Final Years, uh, which she wrote about her experiences living with her father. And I was going to say caring for her father, but she really didn't have to do that because he was perfectly healthy. He decided to move out with you. You made the offer, and he decided to move out. Is that correct?
Yes, he was in good health. He just had been sitting in front of the TV for 3 years, so he
Yes.
was mm,
And he was with his living with his brother, right? At
living
that
with his
point?
brother at
Okay.
that time, who was also widowed. And so when he got off the plane, he was 80 years old, and he looked like an old man.
Mhm.
Um, After 6 months of um, fixing up this old house with me and being in relationship, he lost 20 years. He had a spring in his step. He would walk, he took 2 walks a day. He was going up and down stairs. It just brought him back to life.
Yes, yes, yes. He was basically slowly dying, and then he got a new life. Really, it extended his life. I'm sure. How long did he have with you before he died?
4 years.
Four
And
years.
we bought this 1914 house that was
Yes, which
badly
is
needing
on the cover there.
renovation, and hired a contractor, of course, but he did all, he was overseeing things, so
Right,
he felt
right.
important, he felt necessary, and it brought him back to life because he was perfectly capable. He just didn't have anything to do.
Right, right. And he was still useful.
He was still useful, and so it brought him back, and it was wonderful. He even had ended up having a romantic relationship with a
That
lady in a singles club.
that
I
is
sent him to, they must have thought I was calling for me, but I sent him to the singles club, and he came back and he said, "It was all women. You sent me to a women's club, but they liked me and they gave me a key and they told me to come back." And he would set up the chairs and the tables and they would make him cookies.
that is fantastic. And yeah, and you said he was very social and he got to know everyone in the neighborhood and would
He,
talk to everyone.
He loved working in the yard because he would just talk to everybody who come by. He wanted to know who they were, where they lived, what was going on in their lives. He was a social butterfly. He introduced me to my neighbors.
That's wonderful.
I was in that house for 6 months and didn't know anybody. As soon as my father came, I was surrounded by people.
Oh wow, that is just amazing. And you got 4 years with him before he passed.
As an adult, I got to know
Yes.
my father as an adult, not as a child whose father was always working.
Which is so different, right? Which is chronicled in this fantastic book. And I have to say it had a profound, it encouraged me, inspired me to have my own experience with my parents that were ailing. And we were actually just discussing, uh, they were ailing and because of their medical needs, they needed to have someone around. They were living on their own. We wanted them to live on their own as long as they wanted to be independent, and then they needed to live in caregiving. And at the time, I was in between careers and really didn't know what to do, what I was going to do next. And it suddenly the opportunity came up. They needed live-in caregiver, and I was available. And I have to say, working on this book, excuse me, really reframed that whole situation. When I did the redesign of the cover for this, that's how I got to know the book. I had known Gwen for many years before that. But it really inspired me. I wanted that experience with my parents. And so here the experience landed in my lap. And it could have been very different. I had just was discussing, it could have been drudgery, something that I had to do, my duty, and I was a logical sibling to go and live with my parents and take care of them. But instead, directly because of this book and Gwen's inspiring story, I wanted that experience with my parents. And so it was an opportunity for me to heal past wounds and learn the family history and just meet my parents as an adult and them meet me as an adult. And it was just eye-opening and really, it ended up being a wonderful experience. But because it was framed as a healing experience, rather than some kind of drudgery or penance I had to do, which so many people feel. Unfortunately, uh, it was a wonderful experience, and as Gwen chronicles in this fantastic book, We have a link to this. It's available on Amazon. Please go and buy it. There's a link at the end of the video.